So I think like if you give, you definitely will get back in different other form or something. But it brings lots of more opportunity for everyone. That's definitely my thought about it.
Hi, Amel. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you, Rebecca?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. Yeah, I'll just explain that I'm doing a series of podcasts speak about women in AI. And so I get to speak to some of the great engineers and researchers that we've got at InstaDeep. And I'm really thankful to you for volunteering to chat with me today, because I know that you're super busy. You're not only a machine learning researcher and engineer, but you're also a team lead and a project manager. So I'm really glad that you've been able to fit me in today.
Thank you for the invitation. Really glad to be part of the podcast.
Okay, so what I find quite interesting with you is that you've been in InstaDeep for over 5 years. There's not many people who can say that. So a lot of us have only been here for a couple of years. And InstaDeep is 10 years old this year. So that means you've been here for more than half of its life, and you've experienced all of the big milestones. How has that been to experience like so early in your career?
Yeah, I mean, like the opportunity is incredible here at InstaDeep. I've worked in different kind of projects, met lots of incredible people to learn from. I mean, the ups and downs from all the early stages to how to going from the Series A, Series B, and then the acquisition was really actually a very exciting time. And especially generally when we speak about like the acquisition, how things like how we go from like an early stage startup, basically trying or going through the everyday work from working as a machine learning engineer, trying to also share in the community in different kind of events within InstaDeep. I think like the whole journey was really incredible.
Yeah, that's really cool. So how many people were you when you first joined InstaDeep?
So basically we started with like at when I joined, we were like 30 people. And so basically like going from a small team, like knowing practically everyone, to growing to more than 200 or people in the whole company, knowing some, not knowing others, and getting to know like the different, like, let's say, culture, the different kind of ways of how people do things in machine learning or AI is really interesting.
Yeah, that's a good point that you brought up there, actually, is that the differences in geographies and cultures that we've got within InstaDeep. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in Paris, you're in Tunis, and we're able to, we don't work on the same team, but we do have teams where people are in many different places, and thanks to modern day technology, we can work really well like that. Do you find that really adds to what InstaDeep can offer?
Yeah, definitely. I think this, like, basically working in different culture, learning from different other people, working with the like amazing people, like for example here from Tunisia, we're working with people who work at very have like studied in different kind of big schools, for example Oxford and UCL or things like that, is a really incredible opportunity, to be honest. So meeting these kind of like people who like really push it in the machine learning industry, and you get to have the chance to learn from them, is really an exciting opportunity, to be honest.
That's really cool. And you're now one of the people where people learn from you and all of your experience. So maybe we could go back in time a little bit. I know that you studied computer science originally, and then you said that there was something that sparked your interest in machine learning. What was that, and why did you think like that's really something I want to work in?
Yeah, so basically when I was doing my computer science engineering degree, there was a kind of event at my university at that time, and people came and talked about machine learning, talked about data science and things like that. And I was like, wow, this is really interesting. Like basically you gotta do, like, you try to predict or you try to mimic the human nature and try to create something that resembles the human nature or the human being themselves. So I thought, or how they think about things. So I thought that this was really something incredible and something really interesting, to be honest. I really like very fascinated about all this field and how it incorporates lots of maths in it, and how we create from like this huge math formula, we create something that tend to think like the human being, which I think really is incredible. And the journey started started there. So I really wanted to work in something related to machine learning. I did all my internships were really like towards like machine learning, even though in Tunisia back at that time, there was no very big, like, let's say, people or companies who worked in this kind of field. It was really incredible.
So you mentioned the Google developer experts, and I was looking this up the other day because I saw that you were a Google developer expert, and I've seen that it's not just anyone that they accept as a Google developer expert. You have to show that you've got an expertise in your subject. So how did you go about that, and what kind of things do you do as a Google developer expert?
Yeah, so basically, I had this opportunity of being a Google developer expert, but like part of InstaDeep. And I think like it started from a very basic like need for me, which is basically helping people to learn more about machine learning. I was like not thinking about like being a Google developer expert or something like that. Then things happened, and there is a kind of process about it. But when you share a lot, when you give like people like more opportunities to learn about machine learning and things like that, this is how I've become one. So let's say I was like very active at that time. So basically I had to do like more, for example, at sometimes I can even do like the whole weekend, 2 workshops at the same time, for example, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, and just to give like more people opportunity to learn about machine learning and things like that. But basically this was part of the Google Developer Expert Program. And the goal, as everyone knows, is to share knowledge related to a Google technology. It can be in machine learning, it can be, for example, in cloud or in any other kind of things.
So you mentioned there that, you came to become a Google developer expert because you were kind of already doing the things that were required to be one anyway, right?
Yeah.
Sharing this knowledge, and that was really important to you.
Yeah.
You've also mentioned that like giving back to your community is important to you, and that this is one way that you do that. How important do you think that is for people in machine learning to do?
I think like basically everyone says, alone you go faster, together we go far. And if you bring like lots of people who share a lot about machine learning, you bring more opportunity for everyone in this way. Because if you do everything alone and you have like that kind of mindset, for example, of saying, no, I don't want to share this is my information. So basically other people won't have that kind of giving back to you when you give them. Basically, if you share, more people share, like the circle gets wider and wider, so that like it brings more opportunity for everyone. For example, more companies will start working on machine learning. And for example, especially when we talk about Tunisia, this can help, like, for example, have more companies based in Tunisia working on machine learning, having more companies who are like, let's say, well known, for example, in Tunisia or things like that. So I think like if you give, you definitely will get back in different other form or something, but it brings lots of more opportunity for everyone. That's definitely my thought about it.
Yeah, and this is something that I sort of noticed when I moved from more traditional fields towards machine learning, was how many things were open source.
Yeah.
How many publications are like freely available, whereas in my other fields that I've worked in the past, there was a paywall behind, to read an article. So if you're in a university or you're in a big company that can afford to pay that, then you've got loads of opportunities. But if you're just somebody at home who has a computer who wants to learn about these things, then you're blocked. And I think that that's something that there's a lot fewer barriers in machine learning for that. And it is because we've got people like you in the community who are really passionate about making sure that things are open source, that knowledge is shared, and this is accessible to as many people as possible. So that's really great.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree on like having, like, for example, in the machine learning community, it's completely different from other communities where people are like really want to share about all the advances that's happening. I think this is how machine learning was brought together. Either if, for example, like the machine learning community was not like that, this kind of open source, I don't think that in this way we would be this what we are right now, or having all these kind of models or these kind of technologies or these kind of advances from ChatGPT, from everything.
What would you advise people who want to be doing the same job as you? What would you advise them to do?
So basically, I would say, of course, work, lots of work. That's the get-go. I mean, if you really want to work in machine learning and you really love, I think passion is important. If you don't think like machine learning is exciting or something, you have to find the thing that you really love doing. It can be in any kind of sector, actually. But in machine learning, what I really recommend is that if you really want to be one of the good machine learning engineers, apart from doing project, which is a very important thing, you have to have the research, or let's say understanding the mathematical behind how machine learning works, because that way you'll be able to understand, have new ideas, come up with solutions to the problem that you have. Otherwise, you will be stuck somehow, not understanding what other people are talking about or what other people are saying or planning to do, and you wouldn't have that kind of background that will help you in solving the problem that you have. Because machine learning is very somehow stochastic at a certain point. And if you don't know exactly what should be done, for example, if you don't have lots of data, what is the thing that you should do, the kind of model, the choice of the model, the choice of the parameters, and how you engineer your way around it is very important. And to be able to do this, you have to read, be up to date also with the research papers, with what's happening. I know it's very hard to do so, and it takes lots of time and momentum to be able to, for example, read machine learning papers or things like that. As they say, practice makes perfect. So you start slowly. Everyone starts from somewhere small and then try to make it bigger every time. So this is what I would really recommend. And networking is also important, as I always say, because this is where you meet people and they share with you opportunities or share with you new ideas and things like that.
Okay, so I guess make sure that you've got the basics right, get the maths, make sure you understand the maths.
Yeah.
And keep up to date, so reading research papers. And I guess that's one of those things that gets easier as time goes on, right? The more you read, the quicker you'll be able to read the next paper because you'll already know the backgrounds.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's an exponential curve in that way. So like you said, it starts off difficult, but it doesn't get super easy, but it does get easier as time goes on. So, okay, so that's being very good on the maths and the technical side of things. You said working on projects, so that means practical experience coding, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. If you don't have practical experience, it would be very hard for you. Even to work with other engineers who have more experience. So having the basic knowledge about how applications work, how machine learning model works, the intuition behind it is also very important.
Okay, yeah. So I guess there's a lot of resources online if people aren't already kind of in the field where they can get advice on this. Yeah, like we've mentioned before, open source projects, getting involved in those is a good way of getting experience as well. Okay, so yeah, we could speak for a long time on all of these subjects, I think.
Yeah.
But we also have work and coding to do. So is there anything that you feel that we've not spoken about that you would like to say before we go?
No, I think we covered lots of topics. Good luck for everyone who wants to be a machine learning engineer. I really recommend that you put a lot of effort and work in it. I know it might be very frustrating in the beginning, but at the end it is definitely going to be rewarding, hopefully.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Emel, for your time, and see you soon.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rebecca. See you.
Thank you.